I'm just trying to get the side hustle, the concept of a side hustle. I know it's a globally used phrase, side hustle, and of course everybody takes on what they hear and interpret that to mean, okay, what I'm doing on the side. But success is predominantly mental state, emotional state, then physical state. I know that you want to talk about success from a different perspective, which is success is hard work, physical investment. I'm not going to take that away. Anybody who is lazy will not be successful, period. But everybody who is hardworking will also not be successful. And that is just reality. Just because a guy is very hardworking does not guarantee or ensure that he'll be successful. So my thing around side hustle is, like I said, it's like having a side chick. You married and you got that on the side. It's, like I said, how does your side hustle feel? If your side hustle was a human being, let's say your side hustle is writing novels, you write novels at night and you're a receptionist at day. If that hustle was a human being, how does your hustle feel to be on the side? Okay, let's flip that. How do you feel being the side hustle? Everybody's side hustle requires focus, commitment, absolute dedication. There is no side hustle. And there is no hustle, by the way. Everything is an investment. Everything. It's a venture of hope. I would rather call it a venture of hope than call it a side hustle. It's small today, but I know it's going to be big. So I'm investing in it today, now. And I'm building it. And that's the key word. To hustle is not to build. To hustle is to chase. If you hustle, you're a chaser. And there is nothing wrong with chasing. Do not quote me wrong and say that I'm saying people shouldn't hustle. But there is always a higher dimension to everything, or use the word better dimension to everything. Good is not bad, but better is better. Better is not bad, but best is better. To always know that in life there is a higher dimension to what you're doing right now. So on the topic of side hustle, I know it sounds funny to say what does your hustle feel to be the side hustle. Everybody who has a side hustle needs to change the mentality, their mindset. Because if it's a side hustle and it doesn't work out, you don't feel the weight of failure or feel the weight of disappointment as you would if you had everything committed into it. It is what it is, isn't it? If a side hustle fails, you always sort of have the main thing that it's almost like a guy who doesn't have problems with his leg, but he's got crutches anyways. so he's got 4 legs, but in reality, his first 2 legs are actually fine. But he's got the other extra just in case my legs give out. I've got support. Isn't it? But does he need them? Does he use them? Because if they fail, they fall off, he's got his 2 legs to stand up. But the guy who's dependent on those crutches, there's a different sort of attitude. Have you ever seen someone walk with crutches? And you almost can tell that this guy can walk without it. You can see him walking and come on, brother, you can walk without those things. But you see someone else walk with a crutch and he'll fall if he doesn't have it. What I'm saying is, the concept side hustle has to be looked at thoroughly by people to say, is it a side hustle or is it a venture of hope? I'm hoping, I'm believing this is going to be big one day. And I'm investing in it now for that day, for that time. Even if it's your second business, your third business, your fourth business, it's never a side hustle, it's a venture of hope. You're doing it because one day it's going to be what you believe it should be. But if I call it a side hustle, in my head, I'm just seeing it as on the side. It's something I do in my spare time. It's something I do when I'm done with my main job. I am not so much committed to it. I've got my job, but I do it every now and then. And there's a lot of gifted people who have turned their gifts into side hustles, and then they've got a job they keep. It is crazy. It's weird. People have got gifts, talents, abilities, but it's their side hustle. I know a lady who is she paints at what do you call it now? She paints at the estate where I live. No, she's very quiet. She doesn't say a word. She just comes into the house and she paints and she's, I'm always like, what's with the lady who never talks? And she's the only lady amongst all the guys. And one day, I had a painting on the wall that I wanted framed. And as we were talking, one of the guys that works with her said that, oh, she does paintings too. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was very surprised. I'm like, you do paintings? She said, yes. I said, can you send me samples of what you painted? I would like you to do a painting for me. I want it here, or I want one. I told her where I wanted it. She never came back to me. And the next time I saw her, I'm the one asking her. And then she said, oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, I've actually sold all my paintings and I'm busy with the lion head. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's interesting. When you're done, let me know. So I asked her, how much you sell your paintings? She told me. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking to myself, this job pays the bill, but that so-called side hustle, that's your future. And it's scary how people can take their future and call it a side hustle. See, that's my concept around it. It's the changing your attitude towards it. And sometimes changing your attitude towards something requires that you change what you call it. If it's a backup, it will never be the main thing. Period. Because you know, the day your backup becomes the main thing, you're wondering, okay, what else is the backup for? What's now the main thing? See, it's all in or nothing at all. Absolute 100% commitment. This person is gifted, but she's turned her gifting into a side hustle. And I'm not saying people should quit their job and chase their dreams just like that, but you gotta have a strategy. I once spoke to a lady and I said to her, she works for a company, a very reputable company in the country, and she wanted to be an estate agent. And I asked her one question because she was told by other agents, don't quit your job, stay there, don't quit your job. And I asked her, what's your exit plan? She has none. Have you ever traveled on the highway before? Every highway has got exits, so you can travel on a highway and it's got exit number 32 that leads somewhere else. Exit number 45 leads elsewhere, and you can see all them on those big blue boards, them offering in somewhere, or green boards. Everybody traveling in life has gotta have an exit plan. So yes, you've got a job that keeps body and soul together, but you see what's going to get your soul going at some point that you don't get frustrated is that you need to have an exit plan. What you are doing on the side, at some point, you need to say to yourself, it's where I'm going. But you can't do it on the side for you to get there. There has to be commitment. And now, here comes the big question. People think that just to say that something must not be a side thing, it must be the main thing, means you need to increase the number of hours you're doing it. I am a believer in one thing. It's not how many hours you put into something. It's how much you put into the hours that makes the difference.